Like many of you, I spent a huge amount of time with the Monster Hunter Wilds second beta over the weekend. After testing every weapon extensively, fighting all the monsters that we had access to, and poking my nose into every nook and cranny, I wanted to talk about the good, the bad, and a handful of exciting things that we have to look forward to. So let's start with the good. As I explored the area we had available to us in the beta, I was struck by how truly alive the world felt. Monsters were constantly roaming around, coming and going, interacting with the environment, and sometimes just posing while soaking in the sun. You could literally walk out of base camp, see a monster, attack it, and once you dealt enough damage, it would automatically start a new hunt. That's a brilliant improvement to the franchise, and a feature I hope that we see in every game to come. I briefly mentioned this in a previous video, but the way that the environment is a character all to itself is something special to behold. You could be running around and fighting a monster, and out of nowhere, a giant sandstorm will roll in, obscuring your vision. Or you might encounter a terrifying lightning storm that darkens the sky and could potentially send crackling darts of electricity through you or the prey that you seek. Fighting the Chained Arkveld with lightning striking all around me felt like something out of a movie. That is, until it carded me. Over and over and over and over again. You get the picture. Something that also stuck out to me was the vast assortment of accessibility options the game has to offer. There was a lot to dive into here and menus to explore. Everything from changing how the game feeds you visual and audio information, to changing bugs and spiders into blobs of slime. I feel the more we can add these options to games, the better they will get. And I think that creating something that can be accessed by a broader audience is a massive win. I do have to add a caveat though that I'm not as well versed in this area as I should be, so if there's something missing or changes to accessibility that you would love to see added, please definitely let me know in the comments. The last thing that I want to point out is just how good the combat feels. With every iteration of this series, the weapons continue to feel unique, and like every single one has a use. While I definitely ran into about a billion people using the longsword, which wasn't surprising at all, every single weapon felt great to play, whether it was the slow and lumbering greatsword to the fast and agile dual blades. Every movement and combo felt very intentional, and even the more clunky weapons felt as if there was a better ebb and flow to them than in Monster Hunter World before it. All that being said though, there was definitely some things that left me wanting. The first big one that, to be fair, has already been addressed in multiple press releases as well as a message when you boot up the beta, is the performance. Now, why am I talking about this if it's already been addressed? Well, there's a few reasons. I've always looked at betas as a way to see if I'm going to, first off, like the game and have fun, and then as well to see if it will work properly on whatever I plan on playing the game on. To me, it's a little bit of a bummer if someone isn't able to test any of that out and just has to take them at their word that everything will work, especially when the game's going to cost $70. That's a lot of faith to put into a company when their last big installment, Dragon's Dogma 2, still sometimes struggles to run on my PS5, even with the patches and updates. I just wish they could have released a more updated version of the game that had more stability and performance updates. I am completely spoiled though, being able to play on a brand new 5080 in my PC, but that's not the norm. I had a good amount of people comment on some of my other videos saying that the game was completely unplayable for them. That sucks, and I just want everyone to be able to play this game because I think it's going to be something special. With all the swirling environmental effects that will be on the screen, making sure the game is optimized perfectly should be at the front and center for them. Jumping off the environmental effects though, I love the living and breathing world that you get to engage with, but I do hope that we get just a little bit more visual clarity during the sandstorms. I found it a bit challenging sometimes to see what was going on as everything was coated in a grayish brown tinge. I understand narratively why that's the case, but when monsters get more challenging and there's a lot more going on, I can see that getting way harder to have a clear idea of what's happening in front of you. To round out the video, let's briefly talk about some things to look forward to. I'm extremely excited to see how the crafting in the game works. It appears that it'll be much easier to gather monster parts and materials, which in turn will make it way easier for us to experiment with weapons, armors, and various other things of that nature. I think something else that I'm excited to see are the different biomes that we get to play in and how the monsters will interact in those different areas. The developers were absolutely cooking with the Chained Arkveld. I can't wait to see what else they have in store for us when the game finally launches. The beta absolutely sold me on the game, but if you never got a chance to play it and are on the fence, you should absolutely download the third and final beta and try it out. from February 13th to the 16th. But that's enough of me talking, and I want to know what you all think. So let me know in the comments how the beta was for you, and as always, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single Monster Hunter Wilds video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.